another episode of TPY Unfiltered. As a reminder, this podcast is not meant for children, and no, we don't mean they can't listen to it. They can totally listen to it. We want caregivers and parents and whoever is listening to this podcast to remember that Shannon and I are two adults living with cerebral palsy, so we have a lot of things under our belt, and we do realize that some of the topics that we talk about won't become apparent to your individual until they probably hit the age of 18 or 17. So with that being said, make sure you are mindful and ready to talk about the topic if you're willing to allow them to listen to it. So with that being said, make the right decision for you and your individual. And today's topic is going to be medical overtreating as well as what doctors do wrong and sometimes medical undertreating and what was our experience with that. So the icebreaker today is the icebreaker for this episode is how do we want to word it, Hannah?
What?
It's a hard one to word, I think. But basically, I have to believe that I was overtreated or that people with disabilities are basically overtreated when they are younger because they want to try and quote unquote heal our disability, right? And have in every trial possible, on every pill possible, and every therapy, and every therapy possible, and so, and I believe that created or that has the potential to create a lot of medical trauma for when we become adults. So I just want to go ahead and talk about what that was like or upbringing for medical treatment was concerned, and then Shannon and I will get into how we think that treatment as adults and health providers and our experience with that. So Shannon, you want to go with the icebreaker I talked about?
Sure. Okay, what can you remind me, please?
Yeah, so the icebreaker is I have to say that doctors, when you are a young individual, have like baby, not baby, but like 2 and up, 2 to 18, or whenever your doctor has that cutoff, they want to try every medicine, every physical therapy, every occupational therapy, every heat therapy, every operation, Botox, all those types of things. And I truly believe that my medical anxiety that I experience every time I go to a doctor or have to make a doctor's appointment is because a doctor went down that road. So I want to kind of talk about our medical learning prior to becoming 18, or
Sure.
21, whatever your cutoff is.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, for me, when I would have to go to doctors, I would get a lot of anxiety, and because doctors when I was younger didn't didn't really listen to me. They talked to my mom and they talked to my grandma more because they didn't think I understood, and that gave me really bad anxiety because I was afraid when going to the doctors that they weren't going to listen to me and that they were going to talk to my mom and grandma on my behalf. That hap- that happened from I would say maybe 3 to 18 or even longer, and even my primary care doctor now talks to my mom or grandma and doesn't talk to me because they don't think I understand, and that really irritates me.
That, did you experience any overtreatment?
I yes, I did. I experienced a lot of overtreatment. A lot of doctors said, "Oh, let's try this. Oh, let's try that. Oh, let's try this. Oh, let's try that." And my parents, not knowing what was whether, as I was saying, my mom and my mom was a young mom, and she didn't know what was good and what was bad for me. So because she didn't know, she just went with whatever the doctors said, whether I needed surgery, whether I needed Botox, whether I needed X, Y, and Z, whatever I needed, she went with. As now, as I get older, sometimes she wishes that she didn't listen because maybe I would be able to walk. Maybe I wouldn't be a full-time wheelchair user. My doctors told my mom to keep me in a wheelchair to make it easier on me in school. Maybe I wouldn't be in a wheelchair full time. Maybe I would be walking.
Mm-hmm. So for me, it's very, very similar to your story, Shannon, but in the opposite direction. So I was a patient at a very high, research Harvard University, right? Like a doctor's office that was connected to a university that really truly focused on research only, if you know what I mean. And they had one of the top cerebral palsy doctors, and yeah, I really want to blow her up right now and say her name on this podcast, but I'm gonna be professional about it and not do that. Anyway, he was one of my world-renowned doctor for cerebral palsy because he had cerebral palsy herself. And while I thought that was amazing and cool, he wanted to try every treatment in the book. And we did Botox, we did nabopetros, we did medicine, we did um we did PT and OT and heat therapy 3 times a week. I had no hope for my patients when I was younger, and I'm not talking about past the age of 15, I'm talking about my younger years. We did helio testing, where they have to make the heat go down. We did all those things. We did Botox, which made me give me a needles. We did everything like that. And I not only about the diet and believe that I was missing out on things, which is why we got going after I was 15 years old, but also I began to develop medical mind that I never had in my life. I have a variety about paying home alone in the door and all that. But don't we all? you know, and I never had any medical variety. So after having a doctor that was so research oriented, I became really tired and really nervous to make doctor's appointments. And I would only go to my pediatrician for my yearly checkup. And once I ate out of that at 21, when my pediatrician talked, I was like, I'm going to take as many years off as possible. Being a doctor, right? So, like, because I just want a break. I want to heal my head. I want to be my own woman. I want to make all the preventative care. I want to do my vaccines. I want to go to the doctor if I'm ill. I want to have cancer screening. I want to have a pack meal. I want to do all the womanhood things, right? But I don't. I wanted, at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure I was going to a doctor that would see me as a person, not so much see me as a diagnosis in a medical book. So I will go ahead and talk about that in a minute. Also, I decided to hot all my therapy and start working out at a gym or working out on my own at home, biking, walking, treadmill, weight training, then, all those things so that I could have a life outside of my disability. And I have a friend, hey Teddy, if you're watching, I have a friend who is going into the medical field. Hopefully you didn't mind me saying that. But anyway, he's going into the medical field, and I hope listening to this podcast will help other doctors and other medical professionals know what they're getting themselves into.
I totally agree. Um, that that doctors wanted to do everything in the book, and and that's why I have anxiety for going to doctors, is because I don't know what they're gonna try next. And
Right.
and now that I'm at the age to make my own decisions, I finally have found a doctor who listens to me. This is not a primary care physician. It is a different doctor, but he I found a doctor that finally listens to me, only talks to me, doesn't talk to my grandma, doesn't talk to my mom unless there's a medical reason to talk to my family, but they talk to me. And this doctor I'm referring to, Dr. Femininio, if you're watching this, You are a godsend. Thank you for finally for letting me be me and not talking to family.
Right, and like I really to me that important and like now that we're on the topic, do you wanna talk about the things that we look for in primary hair or not primary hair but hair in general and then also like what we want men to know?
Yes, you can go
Okay.
first.
Okay, so something that I look for in my doctor because my medical ability has not only been with doctors themselves but also with dentistry. You notice that, Shannon?
Yes, I don't want to say this uh on live podcast, but I haven't gone to a dentist in 7 or 8 years because I'm not only terrified of the dentist, but I haven't been able to find a dentist that is um disabled friendly.
Yep, he Shannon, you don't mind we keep that in here? I'm gonna add to that.
Sure.
Okay, I'm aware that I need my wisdom teeth out right. At least that's what my back dentist told me. And ever since then, I have not been to a dentist in 4 years because my medical ability carried over to that. Carried over to that industry as well. And I finally found a dentist here that has provided an happily friendly dentistry and is more so a humanistic approach. To me, everyone listening to know what I mean by humanistic approach. I hope. So with that being said, when I'm looking for a doctor and dentist, I want it to be a humanistic approach. So one of the main things that stood out to me with the doctor that I picked was what he actually said in her introductory video that he understands that young adults knowing the doctor is really terrifying. And he was a human. And I really like that. So my human approach is one thing that I look for. Another thing that I think is really amazing for a dentist, for a medical professional or concern is that they have online video them. So if I don't want to go to the doctor's office and I have something very minor, you know, that's something that's something I really like. I have the option. Another main option for me would be an outpatient center. So a doctor that is not in a hospital setting, but a regular doctor's office by itself. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that makes sense to all listeners at home. And then for my dinner, they have bracelets and conditioning equipment, and I think that may be really great for someone with a disability. I haven't been yet, but I order to say I think that's going to be really great. And I think it's really important that you take your own you take it at your own speed, and you know you're tired, or you know you're on alert, or you know your health to make those decisions.
Yes.
So what do you look for in doctors and medical professionals, or what do you want med students to know?
What I want med students to know is that take your time with your patients. It may take them a while to get out what they're trying to say. Don't assume what they're trying to say. Let them get out what they are trying to say. And I know you guys are busy, but don't rush them in appointments. Take your time and listen to everything they have to say. This is a big one from me because I've been there where doctors rushed me.
Right. And I think with the vaccine, like, each treatment is a point, right? You can decide if and when you want that. Like, my case manager, and I'm not gonna out her, but my case manager came to my house. I was been a while since he went to the doctor. Please put appointment on the book, and I'm happy to do so, right? But I decided to do it in the new year because that's my timing. And I know I need my wisdom teeth out. I know I need a pass meal. I know I need all those things, right? Because we do want to maintain healthy. But I'm saying if you're a doctor or any type of professional talking to a disabled person about anything, please know that we will in time in our in our own time we will, because my health is very much important to me. I have to hear my okay, this is the time, right?
Yes.
This is the time and point. With that being said, I also forgot to mention that I prefer to do all my vaccinations not in a doctor's office. In the middle of the toilet floor is where I prefer to do mine. Because that's not where medical ability lives. That's really odd, but really true. Um, And I think the main question I want to highlight here, Shannon, is how do I know if my individual from a parent perspective? How do I know if my individual is experiencing this? Or how do I know that it's time to stop going to doctor over and over again? And I don't mean primary doctor. I mean like specialty doctor for patient.
Are you asking me?
Yep, if you have anything to say about that, I have personal things to say about that, but I'll let you go first.
I would say the time to stop would be when your individual is showing it, whether they're showing it in action, whether they're showing it in words, whether they're showing it in mood, whatever they're showing it, that is the time to stop.
Yep, I was gonna say that same thing, and also it's the capacity care that you're going to, isn't really making any improvement that you can't get from a primary hair. My family, when I figured out that I ended my primary hair to right up a hip for a new walker or new bracelet, I was like, why am I mowing? Why am I mowing to a yearly neurology appointment? If I get everything that I need for a healthy lifestyle from a primary hair.
Right.
Or like if you put that in physical therapy or occupational therapy too, like if I can do everything that my child does in PT or OT at home, why aren't you? You
Exactly.
know, you know, how I really hope that you want to say anything else.
Nope.
Okay. So I really hope this podcast will help her. I know for me personally, if I heard this, I would think this is really help her, and I would like to encourage everyone listening to this podcast to, in the new year, if you haven't, please join me in taking care of yourself and promote healthy lifestyle and healthcare inclusion for everyone. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.